Hey everyone, Chris Renshaw here, and to finish off my Origins recap, I thought I'd do the loot. What all did I get? So I'm going to kind of go through some of the cool stuff that I got while I was there. First thing, you heard me talk about in the other one, the story behind how I got the Numenera Reliquary box, but I'm going to save this. I'm actually going to do a whole video just on opening and unboxing that, so we're going to set that aside. Start off with some of the trinkets and stuff that I got. First of all, I mentioned in the other video how I got some dice from Easy Roller Dice for my players, and so while I was there, I saw that they had this cool dice tray, and it looked really cool. And I've really been wanting something like this that I could use. I wanted this at some of my games, so I picked that up. Plus, with the metal dice I have, it sounds really good. It's just something about the way, like, okay, here's it on my table, and then here's it it just deadens it just a little bit so the dropping of metal isn't so severe. Speaking of dice, one of the other things I saw a lot of people with were these dice vaults by Wormwood, and it's really simple. It's just a piece of wood, and they've got rare earth magnets that just slip on, and it has all your dice inside, or at least your one standard set. I had these in the box that they came in, but I managed to get 2 D20s, and they didn't fit in the box that the metal dice came in, my Easy Roller metal dice. So I put them in here, and now I can have all of them. And since I'm a rogue, and at least in D&D, I love D6s, so it gives me space for a few extra D6s, which I hope to fill out with some more metal dice in the future. And then it just snaps closed and then just slides in your pocket, in your bag, or whatever. Takes up a lot less space. So I still have my dice bag for my bulk dice, if I just really need a bunch of dice. But this just makes it easy. I've got dice on the go. I can just pull this out, open it up, and there's the dice mainly that I need for most RPGs. Let's see. While we're talking accessories, I stopped by the Dice Tower booth, and I saw they had this super cool playmat, and it was only like $10, and I love playmats, which I'll get back into here in a second. So I got this super cool playmat as well. I really like it. I think it was, if you were in the Kickstarter, this was one of the options you could have gotten as well. So before I get to the last big accessory thing, I need to explain it first by saying I got Century Spice Road while I was there. This is a really cool game. It's been compared a lot to Splendor, and called a Splendor killer, in that it's a very light, very fast-paced game where turns take really quickly, and you're out and about getting spices and using these big cards to do new actions and that sort of thing. When I heard about this game, and I heard a lot of the prep going up to Origins, I knew I was going to get this game. So it was one of the first purchases I got, just because I knew they were going to sell out, which they did. But while I was there getting this game, not only did I get it signed by Emerson Masucci, who is the creator of the game, which that's really cool. I like to get designers to sign it if I see them. But not only that, I saw they had a playmat as well. And going back to the previous statement about how I love playmats, and it's just this. It's really simple. Like, you really don't need this to play. But I feel like for me, and I've played the game already, the playmat just made it so much more fun. And just, having all the card positions out and knowing the order of the different spices. And it just lays everything out and just kind of presents it very nice. So, put that over there. Also, talk about some of the stuff right here. I've been seeing this book a lot on, I heard a lot of talk about it in the springtime around when it released, but Unknown Armies is an RPG. It's an occult, kind of modern occult game that sounded really fun. It's by Atlas Games, the people that do Feng Shui, which is we're doing the Dirtbags of Holding game right now. But I picked this up. I got this as a review copy to look through, read up, and research for potential of a Dirtbags game in the future using this system. I just got to see read through it and get an understanding of how the rules play. So I got this and the other books needed to play. Next, we're going to go into escape rooms because I got a couple escape room games. I managed to get all 3 of the Exit series. However, I only have 1 here because I played a bunch of them, and so they're basically trash at this point. But I didn't play my copies. So one of them, I got all 3 because there was a deal. I gave one away as a gift. I gave another one to my co-host, Colin and Cindy, to let them try it and get a good grasp on it so that we could do a discussion on it in the show. But I still have this one, The Abandoned Cabin. I think this might be the easiest one. I don't know. I don't know the order of difficulty, but I still have this one to play. It's still in shrink. Haven't touched it, so that'll have to get played at somewhere. But while we're talking escape rooms, also, for comparison's sake, and this game, the Unlock version, which is another one of these escape rooms in a box kind of game. Both of these are around $15. But this is made by Space Cowboys, the same people as Time Stories, which is a game that I love for the deep storytelling. And also is that you can see this is unwrapped because I've already played this. And you see I haven't thrown this away because since this is a deck of cards and the components don't get destroyed, I can still keep this game and I can hand it out. I can hand it to my co-host. I can hand it to somebody at work that wants to try and prepare for an escape game. I can hand it to all sorts of people. And so this one's a clowns version. That was the other thing. The creepy clowns I figured would interest my family here and might get them to play. I've already played this. It was definitely super, super hard, and we did horribly at it. So I'm kind of looking to beat our score a little bit on some of the other ones. I wouldn't even pick those up at a future date. So that's the escape room games that I got. Speaking, you heard me talk about Space Cowboys and Time Stories. I'm so far behind on that game. They come out with new scenarios for it every quarter or so. And in case you don't know what Time Story is, it's a game that's a very card-driven storytelling game. It's a lot of puzzles. It's got an escape room kind of feel, but it's not like that kind of a theme where it's like, oh, you got an hour to get out of this. But it's some of those same sort of puzzles, but a little bit less pressure and more of an actual board game. So I've played a couple of the scenarios. I've fallen behind, but they have a big tendency to go out of print. And so the latest one, or one of the latest ones this year, Expedition Endurance, I went ahead and picked this one up. This is about a not polar, but Antarctic. I guess that's still technically polar. Polar expedition that goes awry. I haven't, like I said, haven't gotten a chance to go through this one, or I'm still got like 1 or 2 more before I even get to this one. But I didn't want it to go out of print, and then it'd be hard to find when I do get it. So I figured I'd just stockpile, and then whenever I get a chance to just blow through a bunch of those scenarios, then I've got it. Dwindling down here a little bit, we've got one of the games. This is probably the game that I was most looking forward to getting at Origins. This is the one game, other than Century Spice Road, both of these games were games I'm heading into Origins going, I know I'm going to get these games. And this one was purely on the title, and it's called Sherlock Holmes Furiarty's Trail. And it's a deduction game where you're all from Scotland Pound trying to catch up with Furiarty using a deduction and trying to snoop out his henchmen and get on Furiarty's trail so that you can catch him and put him behind bars. It's a very simple game. I've definitely played this a couple times now because it's light and quick enough that Chloe doesn't mind playing it, and with the theme of cats. I love cat games. So this was a buy just on the name alone, and then I saw the artwork, and oh yeah. So this is by IDW, Sherlock Holmes. I definitely like it. If you've got kids, they would probably like it too. So expect to hear more about that in the future. And the last game I have, I stopped by Passport Game Studios and picked up, I got a review copy of Hop In. So, because it's a fun dexterity game that I'm really curious about. Mainly the miniatures kind of caught. They come with these colorful miniatures, and it's got this little platform thing, and there's a bunch of like dexterity based stuff, and I love dexterity games. And so when I saw this, it wasn't a game I'd really heard a lot about, which is why I was very curious about playing it. And so I can't. This is a game that like is light and quirky enough that I think that would be really funny to review with the rest of my Boards and Swords co-hosts. So I definitely am hoping to get this to the table here soon with them and get a review of that, because when Chaz Marlar was describing it to me, it reminded me a lot of the kind of fun that we get playing Ice Cool, which is a very kid-friendly game, but we as adults have so much fun playing it. So I'm kind of hoping that this kind of fills that role as well. So Hop by Passport Game Studios, hoping to get this to the table here soon. And that is pretty much everything I got at Origins. So not a whole lot, not compared to like a Gen Con where I'm coming back with a trunk full of stuff, but definitely a decent amount of stuff, enough to that I could fill a year's worth of gaming in, and Gen Con's only a month away. So stay tuned for reviews and updates on a lot of this stuff. Check out the podcast, make sure you subscribe, comment down below on what you got from Origins if you were there, and what game that you heard about at Origins that maybe you're looking forward to. All right, make sure you subscribe, check out some of the other videos, and I will see you guys next time.